What is your name and what do you do?
I am Darlene Huntress, and I am the program director for Equality Maine. Here in Maine, we're the only LGBT statewide organization in the state, and we do political advocacy, we do legislative stuff, we do education and outreach. So, I'm the program director. We're nonprofit, so that means I do everything, but, including cleaning the bathroom. But that's my job title. So.
How big is the organization?
There are 3 of us. We have an executive director, we have a development director, and a program director. And we were all volunteer we were founded in 1984, and we were all volunteer until about 4 years ago. And now we have 3 full-time staff members, which is pretty good, I think, for an LGBT organization. You know, most of the ones that I know of, a lot of them aren't staffed, a lot of them are volunteer, so. Our membership is probably up around 1,500, and
of all people in Maine.
Yeah, although it may be bigger now after this weekend, I think, because we had about half that many people at the banquet. So yeah, it was great.
So it was, what banquet was it?
It was our 22nd annual awards banquet, and we had like 600 people there, which is huge. And I think, you know, a lot of that had to do with the fact that we had a lot to celebrate, and everybody wanted to come and be a part of it. So it was really great.
What do you have to celebrate?
Well, we just passed. We had a non-discrimination law signed by the governor last March, and we've been trying to get this thing to hold for 28 years. We've actually had, this was the 4th legislature that's passed it. The first time it was passed in '92, it was vetoed by the governor. The second and third time it was overturned by the voters because we have a people's veto in Maine, and we lost by really like hair razor thin margins. It was less than 1% the last time we voted on it, and this year the governor again signed it into law, and we beat back a referendum, we beat back an overturn, so it's officially law now.
So it's official? It's
official. We're the last state in New England to have this on the books, but it is official, and so it was like a 28-year-long battle. And
so have you seen public sentiment change then?
Yes. I mean, I think so. I think it's changed, and I also think we did a better job this time around of really, you know, sort of building the team and reaching out beyond the safe bubble of our own community. You know, we went out and built coalitions with some of the people who aren't really the usual suspects. But yeah, I think in Maine especially, the sentiment has changed. People are evolving in their thinking.
I was amazed. I was looking at a demographic map of Maine, and I was surprised that it's one of the states that has a very large LGBT population.
Yeah, I mean, I think per capita we're, you know, 3rd maybe or 4th in the nation, and especially in the Portland area, it's like a little baby San Francisco, a little baby P-Town. You know, it's nice. I mean, it's really nice. You don't have to worry so much in Portland or really anywhere in the greater Portland area, but when you get out, there's a lot of rural areas in Maine, and I think when you get past that sort of safe bubble, that, you know, things change a little bit. It gets more conservative as you go more north, but we did really well in the north in this election, so I think that's a really good sign. I spent a lot of time up in Caribou, which is like 8 hours north of here, right on the border of Canada, where we typically don't do well at all, and it feels like to me that people are starting to sort of live and let live, and I mean, they're not ready for marriage by any means, but they certainly I think came out loud and clear saying that they oppose discrimination, and they don't think you should be fired from your job if you're gay, so it's a good step. It's
definitely something that I've found to be interesting is marriage is such a hot button issue because people separate in their minds someone being discriminated against and marriage, because even though a lot of people push marriage as a state-run institution, most people view it as an actual religious thing, and religion and the whole gay thing does not, in people's mind, come together.
Well, you know, and I think that you're right. I think there's some confusion over like the difference between a civil marriage and a religious marriage, but I think that's evolving too, because what I found in this campaign, like never before, were the communities of faith that really stepped up for us and really sort of said, we're going to stand beside you in this thing. Now, would they be ready to do that if we were talking about something more than basic civil rights? I don't know yet. But I think what we have to do is educate the community that we want more than just a few basic rights. That it's great that people don't want to discriminate against us in our jobs or in our housing or credit, but I think, you know, we want the full boat too. It's sort of like you want to be regarded as fully human. You know what I mean? You want your children, our children, to feel the same way that their friends feel about their parents, and to have the same kind of protection. Sorry,
no, that's
go on, Oscar. It's a gay cat, but I think he really is actually a gay cat, but that's another story. But no, I think that will evolve too, but I think that's going to take a lot. I mean, it took us 28 years to get this bill passed, and we've only been talking to voters about it for the last 10 years. So we've got I think we have conversations to have within our own community, because I think there are a lot of people in the gay community who aren't really sure how they feel about marriage either, you know, that it's this sort of institution that they're not sure they want to have a part of, but they should have the option. If you don't want to get married, don't get married, but you ought to have the option, I think, of deciding for yourself. You can't say no to something you can't say yes to yet, you know, so.